Yeah.
Why are my eyebrows?
It's been doing that the
I
entire.
don't know why.
I didn't want to bring it up, but do
What is it?
you have a filter on?
No.
I still presume that this retrospective is going to run a little bit long, but we're
Hopefully
going
not
to
as long
go.
as last year. It's as tale as old as time of us saying in the beginning of the video. That's not going to be as long, and then it is long. So
Right. Yo,
yo,
how's it going, guys? It's been another year, another award season, and we're back with another retrospective from the 98th. Ooh, is that
you
Marty
see it?
Supreme? We're back with another retrospective with the 98th Academy Awards. It was a very interesting season. We both have a lot of thoughts. We're going to approach this a little bit differently this year. The past two times we've done this, we've gone through each individual category chronologically.
I had a lot of fun last year doing this. We talked
Yeah,
till like 1:30 in the morning,
we
and
did. We made jokes
but
about like how we've been talking to each other since yesterday. Like,
that's right. And hopefully that's not the case. It's almost 8 o'clock right now, so hopefully we're not talking until 1 a.m.
could you? I
But
mean, we'll be okay, I think.
we'll be okay. Yeah. But yeah, this is a official Marty Supreme hat
It's
that I
not.
bought on Mercari. It came in the mail today. I wanted to wear it for this. I was worried it wasn't going to come in time, but I did it. I did not tell you that I was getting it. But I love it. I
You
really
look like
like
a
it.
P
And
gamer right now with the hat, like,
I
and
do the hat and the headset. I haven't
I
shaved
should
my mustache. Like I cosplayed Marty Supreme for the Oscars, so I have the
should I
mustache.
get my robe? It's like right
My
over
glasses are right here.
there. I don't know
No,
if the robe, well, I don't
that's
have
too
the
big.
sunglasses or the Scully, so
That's all right then.
I don't think that'll
Um,
lead.
but that licorice pizza poster. We're celebrating PTA today.
We are.
Um, we'll get to that at the end of the video. I
Yeah.
have that poster though, that comically small licorice pizza poster, because it came with the DVD. Isn't that cool? Like I got the DVD for that
Oh,
movie. It came
really?
with the
That wasn't like
poster.
a
Yeah.
separate thing? That's awesome.
No, yeah, it's double sided. Also, it's really cool. But I wanted to put it in the background for the video today because it's the other Paul Thomas Anderson movie that I've seen aside from One Battle. And our man
Yeah,
won his Oscars. So.
yeah, I believe those are the only two that I saw. I came really close to watching There Will Be Blood once, and then I didn't. One day I will.
Top 10 all-time favorite for me. Like I will talk about that movie till I'm blue in the face. But that's not what we're here to do today. Um all right, so are we ready to jump into it?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So I think it'll be good to kick things off with the categories that aren't the most popular ones, like the shorts and the docs. I have not seen, I don't think either of us have seen the doc feature winner, which was what was it?
It was, oh boy, the doc feature winner
Mr.
was
Nobody
Mr. Nobody
against
Against
Putin.
Putin.
I have not seen that. I believe that's the only winner that I haven't seen. Could be wrong,
Oh,
but we'll get back to that. But the others. So animated short went to The Girl Who Cried Pearls. I saw 4 out of the 5 of the animated shorts. I didn't see the Three Sisters, but honestly, all 4 of them, they're all like either I think they're all on YouTube, maybe Netflix also. I don't know. Um, I recommend all of them. They were all great. My favorite was Forever Green. It's like a Pixar short. That's the one with like the bear in the
mm,
tree. You might have seen it.
sure.
Um, it feels like a Pixar short. It is so nice. Retirement Plan was great, but The Girl Who Cried Pearls, it is like a 15-minute stop motion. Some of the smoothest, like most expressive stop motion that I've seen. The story was really good too. But yeah, like, that was a great win. I love seeing like stop motion and stuff of that nature get rewarded because it's so tedious and like so much love has to go into it. And it's something that like I love, like Will Arnett said, like it's something that AI can never replace.
Yeah.
So
It's
it, it,
like
was- it was,
shiny and like
yeah, I
pudding.
know.
If
So it
something
was definitely cool to
like
see that
uncanny.
take animated short. Live action short was pretty interesting actually because there was a tie.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that was
Why
I
couldn't
forgot
that
that
have
that could
happened
happen.
last year? The year that like I watched all five of them in class.
And you voted.
I've like technically, yeah. And then the one that like had like absolutely nothing of value to say won. Like
Oh my
I'm not a
God.
robot. Like that is, I'm still upset about that.
Yeah, no. But this year, all right, so the one I was rooting for was called Jane Austen's period drama. It should not have been
Telling me
nominated
about
for an
this.
Oscar.
Yeah.
I will say it should not have been. It is a 12-minute SNL sketch. It's fantastic. It's literally like it's the same joke over and over again, but it's so good. It is told so well. It's on YouTube. Watch it if you can. But the winner was The Singers, which is on Netflix, which I didn't love. I thought it was kind of pretentious. A little bit of like local film
But if
festival
you think
energy.
that's pretentious, just to wait for the title of this next one.
Two people exchanging saliva is a black and white French.
Of course it's
Um,
French. Of course it's
yeah, it's French. It's very French.
French.
Um, I really liked it. It's pretty long for a short. It's like pushing 40 minutes, which I think is the limit. And
Yeah, it's like 40, 45, right? For something
I
to
think
like
I
consider
heard
short.
40 constitutes feature length. That's what I heard,
Hmm.
which seems short. But
Yeah.
two people exchanging saliva. It's like a futuristic society where like kissing is outlawed, and also people pay for things with by slapping the other person, and like kissing is punishable by death. And that so like it takes that concept to like really interesting places, and it's very absurd and it's funny, but it's also like a good love story. And obviously like there's such a good like voice creative voice throughout it with like through the black and white and just like the way the sets look and the performances are. Highly recommend it. It was good. It wasn't my favorite, but could definitely understand and get behind this movie winning.
Sure.
Being one of the winners.
I wonder like, and I mean uh I'm not excused from this, but like I wonder like how many people have to like abstain from these lesser popular categories for it to end in a tie.
I don't know if it's like abstaining. Like, isn't it just like both of them get the same number? Like that could still happen if everyone voted.
I mean, I guess, but there's over 11,000 people in the academy. And like I feel
Yeah,
like I found out recently, I mean I could be wrong, but I feel like on their ballot like they rank the all the best picture nominees. And
mhm.
over the years people have like put out anonymous ballots and they go through the rank and they'll rank like 1 to 3 or 4 and then abstain the rest. So like people only do what they want to do,
It's so
which is really
stupid.
frustrating.
This was the first year that it was an actual rule that they had to watch all of the movies nominated.
Oh,
And even
really?
then, yeah, yeah, it was like an official rule. So
To vote for the category or like to vote
yeah,
period?
like voters get like the Academy's like I'll say streaming service, and they have to watch the movies through there, and only after it registers that they saw all of them could they vote. But even then, like anonymous people were saying, like, "Oh yeah, I just had it on in the background." It's like what? What?
Yeah, wait, I feel like I remember like us talking about this last year.
Last
Like
year,
last year they
it was a
made it a
thing, yeah.
vote. They made it like a new thing. And
Which is
then
why I'm surprised that the
why
Brutalist won so much because I think that was like the main thing. Like, what's her name? Felicity Jones, who's only in like the second act of the Brutalist. Um, she had a lot of like people are like, oh, she's gonna win, but she got nothing because a lot of the voters didn't watch the full movie. Like they didn't stay for Act Two when she came in.
well, it picked up
It was a
mostly
big thing.
technical. I mean, I don't remember, but it picked up mostly technical awards, right? Like it won
It did. It
cinematography and
did,
like
yeah.
score and
Cinematography, score, actor, production
actor,
design.
maybe.
Should have been Conclave, but no, no, yeah. The Brutalist has good production design. I'll say it. I just like Conclave. We're not talking about that though. What else? Is that it? Is that it for the shorts? And the documentary short was
Yeah.
all the empty rooms. A little bit of a tough watch. I think it's on Netflix. It's like a journalist who uh photographs the empty bedrooms of kids who died in school shootings. It's it's what it sounds like. I heard something that people complained about it is that it doesn't really offer um like a solution to anything. It doesn't really it just kind of presents like this is it, this is a really bad thing, and it doesn't really do anything beyond that. Personally, I don't know what else it could have done. I
Well,
think that
isn't that the most effective way you can go about it? Because I feel like
that's what I
in
thought.
our current society, we are pretty much giving a solution, which is like more restrictions, but people are not listening to that. So it's like, okay, you're refusing to listen to this. Here's what's going on. And it's just
And
like
I think that
very
the
matter of
ultimate
fact.
I think that the ultimate way to reach a solution in the future is to shed light on it. And that's what I think this movie is trying to do. I think that's the thesis of this movie is
Sure.
that this is a part of like gun violence that people don't think about. And so by seeing it from this angle, and I love that it got the Oscar, like I'm sure a lot more eyeballs are going to be put on this film. There's more awareness of it now. More people are talking about it. So I don't think that it needed, here's the solution to this problem. Like it's more complex than that. So yeah, I don't agree with the criticism of that movie. I'm
Yeah.
very happy that it won the Oscar. So the first award of the night was supporting actress. It's always one of the supporting categories. I think they swap uh, every year, like actor and actress,
Yeah.
and it was really up in the air. Like both support, like usually ever since we started watching the Oscars, there's always been like at least one shoe in for one of the supporting actors,
Yeah.
and this
This
year
year,
really wasn't the case.
neither of them. There was like I loved watching the trajectory of both of them
Mm.
because like it started off, at least in this case, it was like, okay, Amy Madigan before the award ceremonies.
Mhm.
And then after the Golden Globes, everyone was like Teyana Taylor. And then at the BAFTAs, it was Oni Misaku, right?
Yeah,
And then it meandered its way back to Amy Madigan. It was like a
somehow, yeah.
full circle thing.
It was
Great.
crazy. And wait, so who was your like pick? Like if you were a voter, who would you have voted for of the five?
I would have voted for Teyana Taylor.
Okay, all right. I probably would have voted for Inga from Saturday Night
Inga
Live.
was
Like
Inga
I thought
was
they were all
nice too.
amazing. Yeah, I thought they were all amazing. Her performance was
Yeah.
just so real. We'll get to that when we talk about sentimental value. But the winner was Amy Madigan, and I was so happy about this. I know you haven't seen Weapons. I like this movie is such a breath of fresh air. It's original horror, and it's also just so funny, and it's so much fun to watch. Like I started it one night, and I'm like, I'll watch like half hour of it. It's a bad habit that I have, where I'm like, I want to watch a movie 20 minutes at a time. I watched like over an hour of the movie, and I was so invested in it. And she doesn't come into the movie until like more than halfway through like she should be before she actually shows up, and she just steals the show. And it's a villain in a horror movie, and she won an Oscar for it. Like that's it feels a lot like Misery, like Kathy Bates winning for Misery. I don't believe that movie was nominated for anything. I could be wrong. I could be dead wrong on that. But like it's like a movie that isn't an Oscars movie. It's like a summer blockbuster kind of Weapons. And but like there's such a scene stealing performance in it that everyone just loves it, and it ends up getting the Oscar. I love when that happens. Like I love when movies that don't show up everywhere with nominations win stuff. You know?
Yeah, yeah. I think I saw online. You can correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm sure you saw this too. She was the seventh person ever, the seventh actor ever to be awarded supporting or lead actor from a horror movie.
I think I yeah, I did see that. The last one was like Anthony Hopkins.
I don't know if that was it? But like Anthony
I think
Hopkins
it
and
could have
Jodie
been.
Foster, that was like that's like two of the set. Ooh,
What was that?
my
Oh.
light turned off.
But then like another thing I saw is that the three winners for actors this year, not counting Sean Penn, the three winners who were there, um, the two women played witches, and the actor played a vampire. So like, it was cool. It was a cool like supernatural
Yeah.
things that are getting awarded, which is awesome. And then like even beyond that, Jacob Elordi is nominated for Frankenstein. Frankenstein kind of
Yeah.
cleaned up the technicals, as we'll talk about. Good year for horror, especially coming out off of last year with The Substance. Like
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
horror is an Oscars contender now, and I'm so happy. I just recently got really into horror, so
Hopefully
it's really
superheroes
good
are
to see.
next.
What's that?
Hopefully superheroes are next.
That'll be hey. A non-Black Panther superhero movie, getting the love at the Oscars.
Yeah, I mean, hmm.
Let's just have Ryan Coogler start directing like every Marvel movie.
Honestly, like
I
Marvel would be in good shape if
yeah,
all
yeah.
right. Shall we talk about Best Picture nominee F1?
I think we shall. I think it's time.
Best
What are your thoughts
Picture
on what are your
nominee,
thoughts on Best
Academy
Picture
Award
nominee
winning
F1?
nominee,
Academy Award winning Best Picture nominee F1, the movie.
took home Best Sound, which is a very predictable win.
It was the Top Gun treatment.
But very, yeah, it was the Top Gun treatment. It was the Joe Kosinski treatment. It
Yeah,
was, I mean, it's a very deserving win.
very.
I feel like you can definitely make the argument that Sinners could have won that award, but
I think Sinners had more interesting stuff going on with the
I
sound
agree.
design. More
But
interesting than Best Picture nominee F1? Impossible. Uh, we don't dislike this movie. Like Jay, you haven't rewatched it, right?
no, but I have
No,
watched recaps on it, and there's nothing about it after having it marinate that makes me be like, hey, I think returning to this, I'll find something new. I'll find something
yeah.
deeper.
So I think like the day was it the night of or the night after the Oscar nominee. Oh, sorry, the Oscar nominees came out. There was like a huge snowstorm where we live, and my whole family was home, and we're like, let's watch one of the Best Picture nominees, and we decided to watch Best Picture nominee F1. And like we had gone to see Best Picture nominee F1 over the summer when it came out. I was so hyped for it, and
Yeah.
we kind of walked out being like, it was okay. It's a little boring, like at parts, but it was
It was a
fine.
solid 7 out of 10 movie.
Solid seven.
Like
Yeah.
it,
I watched it again and I bumped it up to an 8. I enjoyed it more. Like it felt more cohesive the second time, even though I remembered nothing about where it went. But yeah, it was like it was fine. And I like seeing popular movies get in at the Oscars, but it's just like
yeah, I know there
with
are
this year it
people.
felt a little like they need like they were grasping for a blockbuster to put in there. When Wicked was right there, like,
Right, yeah.
I'm not saying Wicked should have been on there for Best Picture, but it's
And I
just odd
feel
that it got nothing.
like I know there are a lot of critics I feel that were like upset, like genuinely upset that it was nominated in favor of it was just an accident
Mm.
because Jafar Panahi, eh, that's his name, right? Jafar
Yeah,
Panahi. He was like facing prison sentences
for
from his
making the
home
movie.
country for
I
making
heard
the movie.
that.
Yeah.
Heard that. Yeah.
Like on a similar note, did
The
anyone
Best Picture
did
nominee
anyone
F1
see
gets in.
that? Did anyone see that clip of uh Mr. Wonderful showing off his basketball card in his like bedazzled suit, like right next to Jafar Panahi, like looking at him?
I rings a bell. I don't know though.
It is, yeah, it's been blowing up online. People are like, wow, he is such an asshole because he's just like, hey, look at me, how rich I am. Look at the cool things I have. And then
Well, yeah.
you have this guy who made a very uh politically controversial movie that is
Put
getting
his life
in
on the
trouble with
line.
his home government and like literally after the awards is returning home and going to jail for it and he's just like it's the lack of
And the fact that
like
it's like
self-awareness and
that's this movie it's Best Picture nominee F1. It makes it so funny. Like in such a weird way. It's hilarious
yeah,
because like there's no meat on the bone with this movie.
no,
Like
there's it's Brad Pitt. It's Brad Pitt. It's like so it's very tropey. You've got the
total.
legend and he's like the cocky underdog, like the rookie, and then he's like, ah, you're doing this and you're doing this. That's not the way that you're supposed to be doing it. And then the legend's breaking the rules, and then the rookie gets hurt, and then they're like, oh, we gotta win the big race, and then they win the
And then
big
they
race.
win. They
Shocker.
win.
And then he
Uh,
does the Brad Pitt, he does the Tom Cruise thing, and he hooks up with the girl. He hooks up with,
ooh,
oh my God, what's her name? Carrie
Harry
Condon.
Condon,
Carrie Condon. And then you've got
who's in
Javier
two Best
Bardem.
Picture nominees.
Yeah, exactly. But I got to
Yeah.
tell you though, that movie looks incredible. The
I said
shots
to
in the
you, I
movie
said to you
I
during the
cheese over
Oscars.
so much.
Oh my God.
The
I said to you over
fireworks,
oh,
the
the fireworks are amazing. The
yeah,
fireworks, every shot of the fireworks is incredible. But I said to you during the Oscars, I said, this movie is exceptional in every aspect except for the story.
except for the story.
Like,
Exactly.
like you can compare it to Top Gun
Uh,
Maverick. Top Gun Maverick got a screenplay nomination, and like, which is crazy to me. I adore Top Gun Maverick, and I think
right.
it's crazy that got an adapted screenplay nomination.
Well, you can
But
make the argument with Top Gun that like it does the cliche like
it doesn't, yeah,
it does a
it kind of
cliche, but like
reinvents everything. And I
it's
also
like it
just cared about
reinvents
that
it, it makes
movie
it
a
feel
lot
new.
more. Yeah, like I cared about that movie a lot more.
Exactly, yeah.
Best Picture nominee F1, it does all of the tropes like you said and everything. It's a very good way of doing them. It does everything in a very technically skilled way.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun to watch. It's good action sports movie filmmaking. But it's kind of just treading similar ground.
Yeah.
Like
And, like,
I'm
he like
always I'm gonna
tries
have a
to
good
do
time
new
when I watch
things,
it, but like
but it's nothing bold. It's nothing compelling.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
just kind of like, all right, like that just happened.
And
Let
that
me
being
do
said, I
the
gave it an 8 out of 10.
yeah.
It's neither of our least favorite of the 10. It's both
It
of
is
our
not.
number eights.
It is both of our number eights.
And that's exactly where it belongs.
Our number eights and our number tens were exactly the same, and the rest of our rank for best picture is completely all over the place, and I love that so
Yeah.
much.
Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah.
We had different opinions. Which, by the way, let me just take an aside. Your short has over 1,000 views, and mine has like 600. And I think that the reason for that is because you put hashtags in yours. I didn't think to put hashtags in mine.
Well, that's something that I try. Well, because like I recorded mine on TikTok because it wouldn't let me do green screen for over
Oh,
60 seconds.
yeah. YouTube's weird like that.
And I'm not uh succinct or like concise in the way that I talk about things. So
No?
so I'm like, hey, I'll just do this and see if I can like upload it from my camera roll.
It was only like what like a minute 30 or something, so it wasn't
Yeah.
terrible.
But like I remember like because when I used to do TikTok back in the day, 5 years ago, like it's all about the hashtags. So I was like, oh, let me try the hashtags with the YouTube short.
Yeah. And we
That's
always
what
put
I did.
hashtags in our shorts, but I just forgot mine.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, yeah, so that's Best Picture nominee F1.
Yeah.
Um cool that it got recognized, but
It did not belong.
odd and funny that it got into Best Picture.
Yeah, it did not belong.
Nah.
Do you
All
want
right,
to
so what's
talk about
next?
Avatar at all?
I'll talk about Avatar. Visual effects were amazing and were as good, if not a lot better, than the first two, which also won Best Visual Effects. So I agree that Avatar Fire and Ash should have won Best Visual Effects.
All right, cool. We're gonna leave it at that.
That's
Uh,
it.
I
I'm
will.
happy that it got nominated for that. Costumes was cool also, and nothing else, because I don't think it needed to be nominated for anything
I
else.
will tread backwards a little bit to Best Picture nominee F1 by saying that the visual effects in F1 were like crazy, like just in the way that they looked real and everyone thought they were real until
Yeah.
they were nominated for visual effects, and then they came out and they were like, "Look at all of this visual
And
effect."
it's like, oh my God,
Yeah.
like, yeah,
Um,
they're incredible. All
so I feel
five of
like
them were incredible.
yeah,
Like
that
the
could have been.
VFX in
Yeah.
each movie every year. Like the VFX category is always stacked.
Yeah.
Like because you never know how much work goes into a movie. It's never obvious. A lot of the time, visual effects are kind of
Right.
supposed to be invisible. With Avatar, like I think there's 7 shots in the entire like 3.5 hour movie that aren't VFX shots. Seven. 7 shots are not VFX.
Seven shots out of like thousands,
I'm,
probably. Like,
yeah,
holy
yeah.
crap.
So you can't not think about how incredible they are. And the more I learn about it, the more I'm like, God, like these people are just brilliant. Like it's yeah. So Oscar well deserved. I hope every Avatar movie, all I don't know, 14 more that have to come out, all win best visual effects.
He's got to make another movie that
He's
isn't.
gonna die. Like he's gonna die before.
It'll be like
before.
Avatar 6 or 7, and like he'll be content with that, and like good for him for being happy with that. But I'm not happy with that. So
Give us another Titanic.
think about that, Jim. Uh,
Yes.
all right, let's talk about Hamnet. I liked Hamnet, even though it is like kind of pretentious. I like that it like some people argue that it went way too far emotionally and it was just like trying to get people to like react
Mhm.
emotionally to things that were going on screen, and I kind of see that.
I feel that, yeah.
But like generally I feel that that films don't do that enough. I'm going to skip a little bit ahead and talk about Frankenstein. There was a moment in Frankenstein, I guess, which we'll talk a little bit more later, but there was a moment when the monster uh, is like trying to reveal himself, and I feel they could have made it like a much more heartbreaking scene than it was. And like as you're watching it, like you're like, oh no, don't do it. You don't want to. You're like identifying with characters and you're sympathizing with them, and you don't want them to get hurt. You want them to be protected. And then like films will like tread there a little bit, and you'll feel bad, but then like they'll make it through the clear, and it'll be like, okay, we're good, and you keep going. But then like in
Mhm.
retrospect, it's like you really could have done more with it. Hammett, I really
I
feel
can
like
see
they
that.
squeezed the fruit like very, very dry. Like they made it seem like one kid was gonna die, and then they were like, wait, psych, it's the other kid. And I remember in the theater thinking, there's absolutely no way they're gonna make this work. And then they did. And like you fully believe that holy crap, Jesse Buckley, like you really feel and believe that she is genuinely going through that heartbreak.
Mhm.
She had such such a grounded, guttural, I guess you could say,
Yeah.
performance, and she deserves to sweep at all of the awards. I Her
That
name
was cool to see.
was like a name in the back of my head, like prior to this season. I didn't know who she was.
She was nominated a few years back
Probably
for The Lost Daughter.
The Lost Daughter.
It's a Maggie
Hmm.
Gyllenhaal movie. It
Uh,
wasn't very good. I watched it. It was before I like got as much into movies as I am right now, and I just watched it to check some boxes at the
right.
Oscars, and didn't really like it. So,
Hmm.
but that's how I knew her. And she's the
Okay.
bride in the
She
next
is the
Maggie
Bride. Yeah,
Gyllenhaal.
another Maggie Gyllenhaal film that is controversial. I still have to see that.
Yeah.
But
Well, oh, sorry. You
no, no,
got
no,
one
I
in the
was just
middle.
gonna say like I feel like Hamnet's strengths are where like it just kind of sits back and like shows you genuine human moments, genuine family moments. Like my favorite parts of the movie are like right in the middle when they time jump to when all of the kids are grown up and
Yeah.
playing in the yard, and they start establishing them as like actual characters, because I feel like in some mainstream movies, they don't like they just kind of like sideline kids. They just become like an object. But like you really
Yeah.
get to know Hamnet, and I forget the other two names, and that's completely defeating the purpose of what I'm trying to get across right now. But
It's like I don't remember anything from Hamnet either. So
that's a moment like those were moments where I cried. Like I cried when they were like surprising Agnes like in the yard, and they were like sword fighting, and like Paul Mescal is
the
just so
family dynamic
charming. Like
was really good.
he's such a good dad, a distant dad emotionally, but still a good dad.
It's Paul Mescal, so
Yeah. Um
doing his after Sunday.
so like it's very like I feel like emotionally it's a very strong film. However,
Yeah.
however, even
I,
though
I was gonna hit with the however with my opinions on
no,
Hamnet,
no,
but
no, no,
go
no, that's
ahead.
all
You
good. No, no,
you
no.
have a however too.
However, even though it is my number four of the 10 best pictures, it does have its flaws. It isn't without its pretentious moments. There's a very laughable scene. Uh,
To be or not.
yeah, to be or not to be, exactly, where Paul Mescal is just like he's just taking out his anger on his actors when he's preparing for Hamlet. And then he like goes out to the harbor at night and it looks like he's contemplating suicide, Javert style from like Les Mis. And then he says not the whole like monologue, not the whole
Yeah.
soliloquy,
It
but
comes
like
to him just like
a
that though.
decent chunk, like
Like one of the
of it
greatest
to be
like
or not to be. And it's like, okay, all right. You can
that's
just
Shakespeare. Oh my God.
exactly, yeah.
Yeah. Um so yeah, I was not the hugest fan of Hamnet, unfortunately. I didn't dislike it. Between like a seven or an eight, more seven. I ended up giving it a seven. But like this was the one movie out of the 10 that I don't know if this is my own cynicism or like because you touched on this too when you were talking about it was the one movie of the 10 that when I was watching it, I was able to kind of smell the Oscar bait. And I was able to like for me, I wanted to be as emotionally affected by it as everyone else who I heard from was. But like for me, like it's always it takes so much more than like sadness in a movie to make me cry. Like death just it doesn't that doesn't make me cry in the movie. It's gotta be mixed with something. And I feel like there's a lot of just like hammering in how sad the death of a child is, which it is, but like I feel like it's not mixed with too many other like there's not much of a range of emotions throughout the film. Like I like how you pointed out that one of the parts that made you cry was just seeing like the family playing with each other. And like that is like the tenderness, you know, like it's not just the sadness, it's not just the tragedy, but it's the
Right.
quiet tenderness of it. Um, I feel like the characterization, like I didn't fully get. Like a lot of this is just like I feel like I didn't fully get Hamnet. She had like powers. She was like a woods uh spirit or something. I feel like we never saw that. I feel like we were told that. And
Powers?
I don't know about powers, but it's like she has this like sensitive, this like supernatural kind of awareness. It's like all the women in her family were like
Oh yeah.
um
Well, they were all like just kind
had
of
this
like
connection to the woods.
in touch with nature and they were passing that
Yeah.
on to like it's more of like a spiritual thing, I think.
Yeah. I don't know. That just didn't read for me. And it sounds like I'm beating this movie up right now. I really I didn't dislike it. The one last thing, I feel like Paul Mescal as an actor, I feel like the script didn't do him a lot of favors because he is so good at subtle acting. And comparing his performance in Hamnet, which I think he was excellent. I think he did like as good as he could do in this movie. Comparing that to his performance in After Sun, where he plays, it's a similar dynamic where he's like this depressed, tormented, like emotionally distant father, like you said. Um, I feel like the script, if it trusted him to communicate those feelings like non-verbally, it would have read as a lot stronger, I think. There's a lot of parts in this though where he's like pounding the desk and he's like screaming and everything like that and giving like
Yeah,
what
that was that
giving what seems
is
like an
very
Oscars
cliche.
clip.
Yeah.
Where like you watch After Sun and I know it's stupid of me to compare these two movies because they're very different, but like you watch After Sun and it's like I understand his character. And nothing that he does, like very few things in the movie that he physically does indicates what's going on inside of his head. But I still know what's going on inside of his head just because of how good and subtle the performance is. I
Sure.
feel like if Hamnet took that note, um, it could have been a lot stronger. That being said, Jessie Buckley was amazing. I think her performance in the whole third act of the movie is incredible. On Letterboxd I said that the end of this movie, in my opinion, deserves a better beginning and middle because the whole like theater scene till the end really, really got to me. And I think Jesse Buckley is incredible in it. I really do. I think that a lot of the heavy lifting of the ending, I'm not gonna say all of it because Jesse Buckley is amazing and the directing is really good too, and the script itself is good. I think a lot of the heavy lifting is done by this piece of music that is soaring over the ending, and it's so emotional. And I couldn't help but feel like, oh man, I feel like I've heard this before. I was thinking like, that this movie's been out for some time now. Maybe I heard it in like an Instagram reel or something like that. Maybe it's like a popular piece of the score. I saw it with my brother. We're both big Lost fans. And he's like, this sounds like a music from Lost, and it does. And I'm like, man, this is a good score. And then I got nominated for best original score, and I'm like, good. Like that piece that played over the end, that was great. That should be nominated. And then what did you tell me?
I told you that this Richter score, this Richter piece, has been used in not one, I actually don't know how many, but more than one
Lots.
other more than one other films. And
Very
we have both
famously.
seen.
Yeah.
And like it's also old too. Like it was like
Is it
composed
classical?
in the
Like,
2000s.
oh, okay.
Not like old, not like Renaissance old, but like
Okay.
it's almost 20 years old.
That's still like, it's weird. Like if it was a piece of classical music, I would expect it to be included a lot. But it's like a relatively modern piece. And like it was in Arrival, and you said it was in Shutter Island too.
Yeah,
Like,
it was.
I don't know. I know every movie exists in its own little vacuum, and the world and emotions of each movie is unique to it. And like, I don't know, I just feel like that sucks some of the air out of it. Like when a song that isn't original to a movie does so much of the heavy lifting in something, I just feel like that cheapens it a little bit.
I
And
think I can agree with you on that one. I didn't, when I was in the theater watching it, I didn't listen to it thinking like, oh, well, I don't know if I consciously was like, oh, I feel like I've heard this before. But I that was probably like seeing Hamnet in theaters. That was the most I have cried in a theater. But I don't think I could ever re-experience that watching that film again, not because I've already seen it and I know what's going to happen, but like now knowing how popular that is in other films and how it is in the media, especially during its campaign. Like
it just seems like they're borrowing stuff that
I
is
feel like
proven to work in
I
the
understand that
past.
like it's the composer, it's like the composer did original stuff for that music, so like it's easy to get like the rights for it. Like he could literally just be like, "Hey, this is fine," but it just feels wrong.
It does.
You
It
know,
does. And like I know there's like the Tarantinos who are like, well, cinema is stealing, and that's what it is. You're stealing. I'm like, no,
but
not necessarily. No,
but we don't like Tarantino,
you
right?
steal sometimes, and that's your choice, whatever. But like
Yeah.
to say put the umbrella over and be like, well, there's no original work. Actually, everything's been made. No, that's not what it is. They had a composer. I don't know who the composer is, but they had a composer on Hamnet who was obviously good enough to be nominated for an Oscar. Why not just let them do something? Why not let them cook something up for the end? Like,
Well, no,
uh,
they're like, we want you to do this thing that you've already did.
yeah,
It took some weight off of his shoulders.
yeah. It's like, oh, good.
It was, I don't know, was it Jessie Buckley? She was like listening to it on her way to set every day, and she like played it for Chloe Zhao.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then Chloe Zhao was like, "We have to have this in the movie."
I don't get it. I don't know. That being said, though, Hamlet's a good movie, and if this was the biggest for me in my opinion, I would say the biggest Oscar bait movie of the season, then what a great season. Like, let's just say it, like what a good lineup it was this year.
Yeah.
All 10 movies I enjoy. I didn't dislike any of them. There was no like blatant villain. There was no big like stupid Oscar. There was no Maestro. There was no Amelia Perez. There wasn't even like a brutalist this year. Like
Brutalist.
everything was enjoyable, you know?
It really was. I have to agree with that. There was no film that I disliked either. Um,
But like at the very least, out of any of the
yeah,
10 movies, I was just like kind of
yeah.
uncaptivated.
Even with I mean, our like both of our least favorites are The Secret Agent for like pretty
Sorry,
much the
guys.
same for pretty much the same reason. Sorry, Brazil.
We
We didn't
still
do
love you.
our research, and that probably led to us not enjoying it to the maximum that we could have. So my Hamnet is Frankenstein. Our fours
Okay.
and our nines are switched.
Yeah.
I'll talk about that in a bit when we talk about
This is probably our
Frankenstein.
biggest differing of opinion is our thoughts on Frankenstein.
Probably, yeah.
So
But,
get started. Let's hear it.
yeah, okay, we can jump.
Yeah, let's go.
So
Wait, is that next? No, no, sorry. No, sorry. My bad. We still have are we done with the one winners?
ye... no, we got to do sentimental and
All
then
right, let's do that then.
okay,
My bad, guys. Sorry. We'll talk
okay.
about Frankenstein later.
I can fix this in the edit.
We'll put a time code. No, we won't.
All right. Sentimental Value was my favorite movie of the entire list of movies nominated, entire award season.
It's
This
a
is
very you movie.
this is the type
I can see that.
of this is like the type of movie that like I want to make. I want to make like I love all kinds of movies, but I feel that like my the type of movies that I like to write are more so like more so just dramas. I've uh I'm out of the psychological thriller phase. That's a phase that a lot of film
Early
students
film
are in. Yeah,
phase.
exactly. It's like there's so much nudity and like it's just so complex to understand. Um, but no, like I'm a sucker for character dramas,
Hmm.
but like character dramas where like the pairings are so odd. Like oldest daughter, estranged father, he's a movie director, she's an actress. I'm like, holy shit,
It's a good
this
dynamic.
is everything. This is theater, this is film. It's like eldest child, dad. This is my bread and butter. This is the stuff that I want to like. This is the stuff that like inspires me. And like it's just such a grounded and real movie. You you made a comment when you saw this that like you loved living this movie. You loved living this movie. And like most of it is just these four, five characters, if you count the kid, I guess. But it's Renata, Inga, Stellan, and Elle Fanning for most of the movie. And I love that so much. It's just
Yeah.
four characters and like
And they're all so good.
they're all so good.
The
Even though
casting
like
is so good.
and I'm like not I'm not crazy for Elle Fanning personally. But like she she played she played an actress who's like
She was
kind of not good
perfect.
very, very well.
Yeah, yeah. It's like she was perfect at like no one in the movie was a cliche.
No, no.
This Elle Fanning's character. She's like a Hollywood actress and like she's a little bit of like an airhead. She's like a little flighty, but
Yeah.
she's also like a good person.
Right.
And like
Yeah.
you like her as a person. And it's
Exactly.
like
Yeah. She's not like I'm like this hot shot or
yeah,
anything.
yeah, like that would be the easy way to go. But
Yeah.
she's like a mixture of both sides, and that just makes her feel more real. And I feel like Elle Fanning brought a lot of herself into that, and as did all the other actors. Like it was so good, and like I would love to rewatch this movie,
It's the blurring
because
lines from the I guess, blurring the lines from what could be a stereotype for all of them that I think is another thing that's really interesting to me. Like Stellan Skarsgård's coming in and he's like trying to act like
What a
he's kind of coming off
performance
as if
too.
like he's acting as if nothing ever happened. But then like as you keep watching, you slip through the crack, you see that there's cracks there, and he does like show remorse. Like he's not in a great mental state. Um Renata Reinsva, the our
Yeah,
protagonist, she's coming off as like, who are you to like come to me and like ask me to do this? You were like absent my entire childhood. And then like there's this little subplot where she's having an affair with this other guy. And it's like,
yeah.
oh,
After I
she's
forgot about
not as
that.
morally upright as like she's making herself out to be. And then they do so much with the sister who could have just been cast aside as the sister, but like she acts as a great contrast for being the person who took the stable like family route.
Yeah,
And then I love
her like
exploring like her relationship with Renata as well. It's just so
her eyes are oh my God, like they're so expressed. There's so much behind them, and also like Stella and I said like in the whole last scene of this movie
oh
when there's no dialogue, and so there's that whole scene inside the house, and it's the oneer. And I don't know if we were supposed to put this together. I didn't though when I watched it. That it's the scene in the movie. I didn't know that. I just thought that they were like
no, I think like they don't
I
make
thought
it
they were like
obvious from the
juxtaposed.
start. Like I think like as you go along, like you start to like slowly figure it out, which I really like because it's like, oh, maybe she's just like watching the kid.
Yeah, like I
And
literally did
it's like,
not.
oh, there's blue screen. Oh, there's a light. It's like, oh,
Yeah,
she's actually acting it. And then like he calls cut.
yeah,
It's
because
like
they were in there and they're going through the scene. It's so well paced. And because like the blue screen is outside, and also the decor of the house is very like cold and modern. I remember being sad.
it's very
Um,
like yeah, it's very like devoid of any
well, the
life. It's so
personality and
like
history of it.
white and gray. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But they're doing the thing, and the blue screen's outside, and I thought that they were still this was real life. I thought, and they were at the house because the house was prepped for the shoot. So I'm like, oh, it would make sense if there's blue screen set up outside the
But yeah.
windows. But they're going through the thing, and then she walks into the room with the stool, and I actually thought that it was real. I actually thought that it was like, oh my God, like the life imitates art type thing. And I was like holding my breath, and then she walks out and yells cut. And I I gasped. And it was like it was such a strong thing. And then just from there until the end of the movie, there's music playing over it. And you see that they're not actually in the house, they're on a soundstage.
Yeah.
And it's just them looking at each other. It's literally just
Yeah.
different shots of them seeing each other. And I like that's important. Like they never talked, and they never explicitly talked about this, and they're standing physically far apart, but they see each other, they understand what
Yeah.
the other person is. And like
But it also like
Stellan
leaves so much
Skarsgård's
open
eyes
too.
during it is it's so great.
And like it also just leaves so much open. Like it doesn't like clarify like, oh, well, like they've resolved everything or like, oh, they're fighting. Like it's just yet they keep on going, but they've like broken through another layer there. And then like
Because
that's where the
like in a lot of ways this movie
so beautiful.
it's about how unclear the line is between real life and art. Like obviously,
Right.
this film is being used by his name Gustav.
I believe so. Yeah.
The film is being used by him to reconnect with his daughters, but also she does Nora, I believe, does eventually agree to do it. And the reason that she's able to do it, and the reason that she's able to do it well, is by bringing her own personal pain into it.
Yeah.
And
They're
so
healing
it's
through art.
that
It's
lap, it's that
so
overlapping
yeah.
of what's real life and what is art and everything. And it's great. Like I want to watch it again because I don't remember this movie by individual scenes. I remember just not wanting to leave it, just watching it and loving all the characters and
Right.
just
Yeah.
breathing with it. But I do want to watch it again. Just pay closer attention to the actual plot, um, because it's very breezy. It's a very just you know you just live through it.
Yeah. What a great, compelling watch.
Coming to the Criterion Collection.
Yeah,
Might
I
have
saw
to
that the other
might
day. I
have
was like, let's go.
yeah,
I think
might
it
have
was
to pick it
in
up.
I think it was in my screenwriting class.
I
I was
saw you
doing
liked it
that.
on Instagram,
And then
so
I like showed my friends and I was like, "Hey, King, my professor's name is King." I literally type out all of my emails. "Hey, King, can I?" I was like, "Did you see this?" He's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Did you like it?" He's like, "Yeah, it's a good movie." He's such a chill guy. I love.
so,
But yeah,
yeah. Great movie. Great win for international feature. I'm happy that this got recognized.
yeah, that was I loved that very, very much.
It kind of wasn't going to be anything else. I know that there was a lot of thought that it could have been Secret Agent near the end, but it couldn't beat the nine nominate. Like you see nine nominations for sentimental values. Like okay,
Yeah,
they like this movie more.
they very clearly do. You're right. You're right. All right. Shall we talk about
The
K-pop
two
Demon
Oscar win.
Hunters?
Yeah, yeah. What do we think about K-pop Demon Hunters? I
I
loved
actually
it.
don't have too much to say about it, other than the
Okay,
fact that like it's kind of my substance this year, where I was kind of resisting it for as long as possible, and then I watched it.
crazy
Like
thing to say. Crazy thing to say without
it's
that context.
it's
They could not be more different.
no, I know, but it was I've just been resisting it this whole season, and then like it got to a point where I was like, fine, and then I watched it, and then I enjoyed it. Um,
Yeah,
I feel that like it's an interesting story, and it does a lot of novel things. Um, I feel like it's an 8 out of 10 script. Sometimes there are moments where it just kind of like says important things that are happening, like how oh, I'm blanking on the characters' names. Who's the head of the Saja Boys?
Gino.
Jinu. Like how like in the third act, um, the movie explains how oh my god, and what's the main girl's name? Holy crap.
Rumi, I
Rumi, yes,
believe.
Rumi. How like Rumi
I'm the biggest K-pop Demon
healed.
Hunters fan, actually. You didn't know that.
No, like the movie just kind of explains how like Rumi healed him or like freed him like from this curse. And then like there's another scene where they're together and she's like expressing my true self. It's actually brought my voice back and it's not struggling anymore. And we didn't see any of that like recovery or progression. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, okay. And then the movie just keeps going and you're like, okay, cool. It reminded me a lot of oh gosh, Spider-Verse and then another animated film that I'm blanking on. Was it Puss in Boots, maybe? Probably.
Those
Like
are two
blending
great
those.
films that you just said.
Exactly, yeah. Like it felt like a blend. It was a similar experience of me watching that, where I'm like, okay, this is very novel. This isn't like um manufactured garbage. Like
Mm.
there's stuff to chew on here, and it's
Yeah.
genuinely good music too. Like
Oh,
I gotta mention
yeah.
that. Like it's just
So at first I wasn't a big fan. I went into this not being well, I don't know anything about K-pop, but I wasn't a big fan of the art style. Like, just from what I've seen, I'm like this type of art style I usually don't enjoy super like a lot. So I went in with that, but honestly, like it won me over very quickly. Like the first musical number when they're on the jet, I'm like, okay, no, this is a lot of fun, and
yeah,
it just like it's just a good time. Like the music is great. The character designs are awesome. The animation is fantastic. The story is like it plays to the familiar beats to make it accessible and to make it an easy watch. But it also makes them unique where I don't feel like I'm watching like a movie that I've seen a million other times before. Just like standard animated kids movie. Like I feel like I'm watching something new, and I feel like I'm watching the beginning of something that could be a big franchise, like a big iconic thing in the future. And so like for those reasons, just like with how entertaining I was, or how entertained I was by it. Like the parts where the script wasn't super strong or where the plot was a little like heavy-handed or like unexplained. I didn't really like that. That didn't really get to me a lot because there's a lot of other stuff going on that I was really liking. But man, the soundtrack was excellent.
Yeah,
I love how they parodied it in the cold open. All right, let's talk about the cold because I don't know when else we're going to talk about this. Um, cold open was I loved it. I love when when the host of the Oscars has seen and likes the movies. I feel like that should be the bare minimum, but it's something that
yeah,
we haven't gotten a lot, and Conan definitely delivers that.
yeah,
Um, weapons and like he runs through all the best picture like a bunch of the best picture nominees
yeah,
and then K-pop like it felt like a celebration of the movies and
yeah,
it was really
exactly.
cool. Yeah. So to have a movie like this, which is a new thing, a very unique movie, to have it win Best Animated Feature was so cool. I like this is I think the third year in a row that Disney didn't win Best Animated Feature, and it went to
I think it's
um
fourth because
third or fourth.
it was
Flow last
this
year,
Flow,
Boy
um,
and the Heron.
Boy and the Heron, and then oh, what was the year before that? There was something else.
It was in
I know
2022.
it had to have been. Yeah, because 2021 was Soul.
Turning Red was nominated that year. Who won?
Why am I blanking? Wait. Pinocchio.
Um, what?
Pinocchio.
Pinocchio. Yeah, so like exciting stuff is happening in the world of animation, and exciting wins are happening for the best animated feature.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, I really like that. Even though the best animated feature and best song, it was like a shoe-in that it was going to be this movie.
Right. Yeah.
It's really cool to see it happen.
Yeah.
I wish that they let them give a speech,
Yeah. Right. That was so.
both of them.
Exactly. Yeah. Ah. Alrighty. Uh.
Man, we were initially planning this for all the viewers. We were initially planning
Oh yes.
the two of us and three others. I'm dressing up as the Saja Boys for the Oscars watch party. It
Yeah.
unfortunately had to fall through, but there's always a sequel, and
Yeah. One person didn't want to commit.
you? Oh no, you were ready. You were ready. That's
I
right.
was ready, dude. I had just about everything, but
Yeah, we still cosplayed though. It was good.
yeah.
We were different characters, so
He
yeah.
was well, I'm sure everybody's wondering who he was. He was
Who I was?
yeah, he was
I don't know. I don't
Smoke.
know.
I was
Yeah, we were smoking stack actually.
yeah. Uh I know he I was Bob Ferguson from One Battle After Another.
I was Marty Mauser.
Marty Mauser.
I really liked Marty Supreme, so
Yeah,
we'll
the
talk
fact
about
that you
that.
referred to him as Marty Mauser, that says a lot.
His name isn't Marty Supreme. His name is Marty Mauser.
No, I
Marty
know,
Mauser
but
flipping
like I haven't
around
heard
Willy
someone
Wonka.
say his full, like his actual name, the character's actual name, since watching the movie with you.
Oh,
So,
that's your loss.
alrighty,
Need that on DVD. Need it.
shall we talk about
Uh,
Frankenstein?
let's talk about Frankenstein. Do
Okay,
you want to get started or should I?
I do. I would
All
love
right,
to
let's hear it,
start.
Ethan.
I was underwhelmed. I
Underwhelmed.
I will tell you that I loved the cinematography, the set design, the costumes, and the makeup. Every shot was gorgeous.
It was a
I love
painting.
they used these like wide lenses that were like that made everything like a little bit fisheye, but not really. Um,
Yes. It was the perfect choice of lens type
yes, it really
to
was.
capture the production. The production design was so incredible that like the scale of it and the intricacy of it and there's just the full range of how incredible it all
Yeah.
was fully captured through the lens. So it was such good cinematography because it served the visual aspects.
It's just like look at this world. It was so gothic. It was so steampunk. And like I'm typically not for that because like usually it's it's very DCEU. It's very gray, it's very brown, it's very black. There's no life. It's not visually interesting. This movie was so colorful for being like in that time period, which was very
A lot
refreshing
of yeah,
visually.
there's a lot of interesting use of the
Visually
color
refreshing.
green also.
Yeah, lots of green, lots of blue.
Not related to the monster. Also,
Yeah.
that was something I picked up on while watching it is the context that green was used, which isn't usually something that I think about. Color isn't like color symbolism isn't really my thing a lot of the time, but it was something I noticed with this movie.
Oh, okay. Um, I really liked the performances, particularly Jacob Elordi. I think he played the monster in probably the most perfect way
Hmm.
that he could have. The closest thing I can describe it to is his performance to is Emma Stone in Poor Things, just being able to like be fully vulnerable and try and like embrace this feral but childlike wonder and fear that like garners audiences sympathy immediately is so it was so good. And Mia Goth just
Oh,
looks like a painting from the Renaissance.
she does.
It
She has that face.
they're literally painting her when they introduce her character. They introduce Elizabeth. Um, Oscar Isaac is 1000% overacting, but I love him. So he's just so damn charming that like I was totally cool with it and like ready to ride it out. I was completely underwhelmed by how it was written. I get it's Del Toro's take, and I appreciate that he took his own liberties. But for a 2.5 hour long movie, it felt very thin. The pacing was so weird. I felt like it's a framed narrative, like in Mary Shelley's book. And getting into it, it's so great. He's like attacking and hitting the ship, the monster, and then they're like slowly figuring out who Victor is with like the prosthetic leg, and then he like says the famous lines. Is like, some of what I tell you is true, some of it is not, but it is all real. And it's like,
That
what?
line pisses me off.
Yeah,
Is
it's
it real or is it not?
exactly, yeah. Um,
You
and
don't remember it and say that, but
and
like
then there's so much exposition with like death and like how death affected him as a child. And I feel like we're there just for a really long time. And it's not that it's not interesting or compelling for the development of his character, but like I want to see him start building the monster. And then he's building the monster, and Christoph Waltz is there, and they try to do something with him,
they threw him in there. Yeah.
and then they kill him off abruptly, and then the monster's alive, and then it's like, holy shit, this is a really great, this is like really good stuff. And I feel very quickly, Victor gets annoyed with him. And it's like, okay, all right. I feel like they could have done like a bit of a better job to like show that progression because it feels rather quickly. And then they bring in Elizabeth, and then their scenes together are probably some of the best scenes in
Victor and Elizabeth and the monster and
Victor and
Elizabeth.
the monster and Elizabeth. Like when she
Yeah.
finds him like in the dungeon and like
Oh yeah, it's amazing.
shows him like the first like
She's like gentle with him.
genuine like human, like recognizes him as a human, whereas like Victor recognizes him as like a thing, like his project, his achievement. Like that's very apparent, and thought they acted that very well. And then like very quickly after that, Victor is like, I'm gonna destroy you because all you can say is Victor. And then I felt like that happened very quickly. And then the thing that I was most let down by was everything right up to the chase north, from like figuring out the monster's backstory. There's stuff like I don't remember the book too well from reading it 5 years ago or 6 years. I think it's 6 years ago now.
Yeah, bro.
In high school, yeah.
For
But
me, it was 5 years. Yeah, because
yeah,
I had it in the spring semester.
got it in
You
the
did
spring. I
it
had
in
it
the
in the
fall
fall.
semester. Yeah.
Yeah, but like I remember among few things how much better the book humanized the monster and made you feel bad for the monster because he's like kind of like hiding out, and he's like this angel, this good luck charm for this family. And he's hiding from them, and he's like kind of communicating with them and getting to know them and really attached to them. And it's leading to this buildup where like, oh, well, he's going to reveal himself to them. And then in the book, he reveals himself to them. And they're completely horrified and cannot see past his appearance for the person that he is, this highly intellectual human being that he's developed into. And they just kind of like cast him out. The movie decided to animate wolves and then made this brief misunderstanding where the he's like talking with this blind old man, which is very endearing. Don't get me wrong,
Hmm.
even though I like the book version of this
Was
movie,
the blind man in the book?
I don't remember if like the blind
Okay.
man was in the
Because if
book.
he wasn't, that I'll talk about this. Sorry, I'm fidgeting with the Lego car right now. That
Oh,
I
there.
didn't realize that would come into frame, but I talk with my hand, so it happened. Um, um, no, when I talk, I'll talk more about this.
Okay.
But I watched some of the really old Frankenstein movies, and the blind old man in the house is something that happens in one of those. So it was kind of a remake of that in a way.
Okay. But it was one of those moments like I was talking about before where like you're dreading the inevitability of him having of the monster having to show himself to the family, and that doesn't happen. The
Hmm.
like the blind man doesn't like figure out like, oh, like he is this monster and then like turn against him. The rest of the family isn't even there. They just leave at some point. And he just attacks wolves and then is cast out. And then it's like emotionally you're in the clear because you didn't have to feel sad for him. But then it's like, oh, that was kind of a little bit of a letdown. And then I feel like I remember in the book there was so much else that was heartbreaking that led up between that and then the wedding that he ruined. Um, so then like by like after that, like we're basically at the wedding and then they're chasing each other north. And I was like, okay, like that's we're like almost done here. What I did like though, I did like how it ended because I feel this is, and I haven't watched many of the other Frankenstein adaptations. I've only seen the one from the 30s. This is the only version of the story that I've seen where they reconcile and then Victor dies. It doesn't
Hmm.
just go into this like uh, endless chase. So I did appreciate that, and then the final shots where he's just like, you know, um, I did like that.
That
But
was great.
by the time it was over, I was like
Nominated for an Oscar.
very. It was a very long but like thin movie, and I feel like it could have done more. Um, so yeah, that's my take on Frankenstein.
All right, well, you told your opinion on this movie. Now I will tell mine. Uh, so I love this movie. I really did. For me, one of the most important parts of the movie watching experience, obviously every movie is different, but for me, the thing that I usually find myself being so enamored by in a movie is a sense of immersion and just feeling like you are in a different place. In some of my favorite movies, like are some of my favorite movies are ones that like I just want to live inside of. Like let's say like the Polar Express or like Licorice Pizza. Like those are movies that like the sets are so well captured. They're so well designed, so well captured that I feel like the worlds of them bleed through the screen. And this movie, Frankenstein, is very much like that. I love the gothic horror. I love the aesthetic that Guillermo del Toro has in his movies. Even if I'm not crazy about some of the other ones that I've seen, um, I love the aesthetic, and this movie for me fired on all cylinders of that. The technical aspects of it, the stuff that it won for, like genuinely stacked categories this year. Like not a bad pick in uh costume design, in hair and makeup, in production design. But even of the five very strong nominees, this movie, in my opinion, was the clear best for all of
Yeah,
them.
like
Um,
and like I'm I feel like the world is very glad that it won too. I
Yeah,
like.
yeah,
I feel,
definitely.
I feel like
It's like say what you want about this movie, like you can't deny these things.
no, absolutely. It's like for as much as I was disappointed from a technical aspect, I was very impressed, and like I do remember like thinking throughout like this like visually this is a very impressive film. You can always guarantee that with a
Oh yeah,
Toro film, I feel. Um, and I
yeah.
haven't seen too many, but from the ones I have seen, like
I think I've only seen Pinocchio and Nightmare Alley,
Nightmare.
and Nightmare Alley was really good. Check that out. But anyway, I started this movie the week before the Oscars, my last one to watch of the 10. And I started at like 11:30 at night, and I'm like, all right, I'll watch like a half hour of it. And I'll like then I'll see where it goes. Or like maybe I'll watch like an hour. Um, I watched the entire movie in one night.
Oh,
Yeah, I was done at two in the morning. And I did not zone out of it at all. Like I was fully immersed from beginning to end. I turned off all the lights in my house and I watched it, and it was just like God. Like you mentioned just Jacob Elordi's like vulnerability and everything. His first scenes, like I was tearing up just watching it. Like this is such tenderness
it's the
to
eyes.
his.
You can't look into the
Yes, his
eyes.
eyes were so expressive. There was so much behind
Yeah.
his eyes. We're talking about eyes a lot in this video. And Victor picked a good set of eyes for him to have. And I really liked how it went back to basics and reinvented the Frankenstein tale because just living in American society and just knowing pop culture, you know what Frankenstein is and you know what the image of Frankenstein is. And this movie doesn't really play up any of that. It doesn't really play into any of that. It really reinvents it as something uniquely its own. Like the monster isn't green. The monster doesn't look like a monster. He looks like the way I remember it being described in the book, how like Victor's a perfectionist and
Yeah.
he designed it to kind of resemble like a porcelain doll almost, where it's like the image of like the perfect like human form, like very fair skinned and everything,
And
and
honestly, it did
like
look
all
like a
this stuff.
porcelain doll, like with different pieces, like it shattered and he like put it back together.
Yeah.
Like at the
And I saw a thing that the makeup artist said in the design for the creature is that he shouldn't look like he was in an accident. It doesn't look like it was torn apart. It looks like it was meticulously pieced together. So there's a lot of
yeah.
geometric shapes on him also. Such a great design. And making him
Yeah.
pale like that and not green, I thought was a good
Yeah.
like a refreshing way to retell the story.
I
Green
remember
was saved. Oh God.
no, I was gonna say like I remember it's interesting that you bring that up because like I remember watching it with my dad watched like the end of it with me. And like in like pop culture's interpretation of Frankenstein, he's green. In the book, he's yellow. But then in this one, he
Right.
was blue.
Yeah, yeah.
He was very blue. And maybe that well, yeah, that was from like the they show him like going around on like battlefields with like men dead
Dead bodies
cold,
are
like in the
usually
snow.
like
Yeah.
have a blue shade. Yeah. So then like it makes more sense with realism. I mean, like I like that it was rooted in realism rather than horror.
Yeah.
I think that's definitely a strong suit. But like where the monster wasn't green, we also see Frankenstein with green. There was so much life and there's lush forests and everything. And the greens in like the outdoor scenes really popped in this movie. And there's also green
Yeah.
lighting in the lab. Like uh and now going back to what you said about um the farmhouse and how the whole rejection thing, like how they didn't do that and they instead did the CGI wolves. It's really interesting. It's something worth noting about this movie that the moral of every Frankenstein adaptation, going back to the 30s on film, the moral is like something about social being a social outcast. It's about monstrosity, and it's about the creature how he has a pure soul, but he was never asked to be brought into this world, and because he was and because he looks the way he does and because he has the abilities that he does, he's outcast from it. He's hated by it. And for that reason, he's a really, really tragic figure. This movie didn't focus on that. There was no social component to the monster feeling like an outcast. He was never rejected by people. He was never like really attacked all like it happens here and there, like with the hunters and everything. But there's never like the kill the monster with the angry mob with pitchforks and torches. And like we don't get any of that in this movie. And the fact that they didn't include the stuff with the family, it for me like really made it evident what the real focus of the movie was, which was kind of a meditation of life and death, where the thing that the monster struggles with most isn't the way other people perceive him, the way that the regular Frankenstein story goes. The thing that this monster struggles with is his inability to die, how he's cursed to be in this world and to suffer endlessly and not have a way out of it. And the movie then becomes not really like, what does it mean to be a monster? What does it mean to be outcast? What does it mean to be good and evil and all this stuff? It's not about that. It's about the place of life and death and how life and death plays into the human experience. And like the best line in the movie, the line that like I think is what got it the screenplay nomination. At the very end, when Victor's dying, he like in death, the monster says to him, like because moments before Victor says like, if you can't die, what other recourse do you have but to live? And as Victor's dying, the monster says, maybe now we can both be human. And that's such a good line because talking about himself, now he could be human because he has a new inspiration to live. He can't die, and he's going to accept the life that he's been given, the endless life that he's been given. But in Victor dying, he's human too, because Victor sees himself as God and the monster sees him as his creator. But in the end, Victor's just a guy. He has no abilities, he has no powers. He's just a guy. So in death, in his mortality, that's what makes him human. So the monster recognizing that finally, and then the last shot of him looking at the sun, like you said, with the tear going down his eye. Right when he came to life, Victor said, like, there's the sun, the sun's good, the sun is life. And he finally sees that and decides to live. I thought that was such a great way to reframe this story because we all know the Frankenstein story, and to get it through this new lens really added a lot more meaning to me or to it for me watching it, and for that reason, like I really really connected with this movie.
I think that's really fair. You're definitely right about it, like showcasing life and death more. But I feel, and like without like the like him be the monster being a social outcast, like without that being there, it does like give it a refreshing taste. But I feel without that there, without some other layered element on top of life and death, I feel that's also another part of like why it does feel so thin. And like hearing you talk about that ending there again so eloquently, I feel like yes, like that is
Thank you.
no, yeah, that like is like inherently true and inherently compelling. But I feel like it needed, for me personally, I do feel like it needed something else to make that more evident if they weren't going to go the social outcast route. Even if they had included that, like every other adaptation, I feel like they work hand in hand so well. Like he's cursed with the inability to die, but like everyone sees him as this like creature, as this thing. From the way that I watched this movie, I just feel that. I don't know if it's because I was expecting it or because the movie was inherently teasing, and for that to not come through, I feel like that's where it fell flat for me. And then for where if they were going to lean in on the whole life and death thing, I feel like there'd be more room to I feel like explore the complexity of that a little bit more. And again, maybe it's just the way that I watched it, but it just didn't really like totally click for me. I just feel it needed like a little bit of something else.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I said I was going to bring this up, so I'll bring this up and then we could move on. With the old man, the blind old man. Like I said, I don't remember if this is part of the book. I remember nothing from the book, but I just this past October I watched The Bride of Frankenstein from 1933, I think, and that is literally a part of it. Like the monster is being chased and everything, and he finds solace in this blind old man in the woods and who treats him like a human. And it's essentially the same character, same personality, and they talk to each other and just have like the monster treated with respect and like that like we see him cry and like obviously it doesn't end well. People come in and they shoot the monster and everything like that. But like I thought like that was such an emotionally effective scene in a movie from an era where like those type of movies usually don't have scenes like that from what I've seen. It was so memorable. Like when I think about Frankenstein, now that's one of the scenes that I think of. So to see that done homage to in this movie was really, really cool.
Yeah, yeah. And like again, like that layer of somebody not seeing him, but that not being able to physically see him, but then just like be introduced to him like for the person that he has become, like is inherently a beautiful thing.
And then let's move on to the other big horror movie from this year, right? Is that next?
Yes.
All right. Sinners.
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 Whoa. We both had a very similar journey with this movie.
We did,
Yeah.
yeah. So we both saw it right when it came out last spring, and uh I gave it an 8 out of 10 after my first viewing.
I think I gave it a 7 out of 10 on my first viewing.
Okay. I'm like, yeah, that was cool. That was a good movie.
I didn't
Didn't really see what everyone else is seeing in it though.
I did too, but like I was coming off of like a really not great day. And I'm like, really? People are like going crazy over this.
Hmm.
Like
Yeah.
it's an entire movie.
So I spent months
Yeah.
telling people that that movie was mid and that was overrated. And then in like August, when it was on Max, which was then Max, I think. Now it's HBO Max
It's
again.
converted.
Um, I I watched it again and I'm like, oh shit, it's great. And I'm like, oh my God, no, it's a masterpiece. And I got it. I got it. And then on the second time, like I see what everyone else is seeing. And then for good measure, I watched it a third time in the theater, like the week before the Oscars. And that solidified it for me. I'm like, no, this is a very deeply special movie that should win Best Picture. Um, but what were your thoughts on a rewatch?
Yeah, so I first watched it in May. Yeah, it was a month after it came out. And for the longest time I was just like it's fine. I don't see what everybody else is seeing. It was kind of treating it the same way that like we treat Dune. Um and then I rewatched it after the noms came out. Because the noms came out, I watched Bugonia really fast. And then after that I was like, I guess I'll rewatch Sinners. Because I was hoping that I'd be able to see Frankenstein in theaters, but then it never worked out.
Same. Yeah.
Um, but I rewatched it and again, similar reaction. I was like, all right, shit, that was actually really good. That was really good.
Yeah.
And
Like you see where it's going, and you see the complexities of like
yeah, no,
the metaphor and everything.
it's really deep. It's got like genuinely good symbolism. And
Yeah.
like Michael B. Jordan, man,
Can we talk about that?
we can talk about that. He
All
like
right.
the way he plays two different characters, two distinct characters as twins, like come on, like how is it
It
that
wasn't until, and I know I kind of sound stupid for saying this, it wasn't until my third watch that I paid active attention to differentiating the twins. personality wise.
I didn't really
And
the second time. The first time I was
okay,
I guess the
so I'm
first time
not
I was
alone.
more so like passively watching, but the second time like I was like, okay, watch it
Yeah,
like
like
watch it.
I was just like beyond like, all right,
Yeah,
like Smoke is wearing blue, Stack is wearing red.
right, yeah.
That was pretty much it. But this time I got to pay attention and like, what does each of them do? Mannerisms wise, facial expression wise, tone of voice, like the acting behind it.
Yeah.
And it's so impressive what he did with it. Like even now I'm watching the movie, like it, you do not get taken out of the movie 1 inch by the fact that he's playing two parts. Like you believe that there's just two of
Oh
them.
yeah. Oh yeah.
And like I heard that like he gave a dimple to one of them, but the other one
Yes,
doesn't have
he
a
did
dimple.
do
Like he
that. He
what?
controlled like how much he smiled
Crazy.
between Smoke and Stack. It's crazy.
Yeah. It's crazy. But for that reason, like this is a great win. This is a great win for best lead actor.
Absolutely.
And
It's
Michael
so
B.
novel.
Jordan is just such a likable guy. So likable. And like who doesn't love Michael B. Jordan?
He brought his mom, like that's classy. His dad's name is Michael A. Jordan.
I love that.
I love that so much.
um so yeah, like it's cool that this performance was recognized because it's a type of performance that like it was the least big, I'd say, of the five that were nominated. It was the least
What do you mean
flashy,
by
probably.
big?
Well, like from what I've seen, it's kind of considered to be like
Flowery, theatrical, kind of like, well, not, I
it's just
get
natural. Like
most natural.
both of
Okay,
his
yeah.
performances in
That's
this
the best way
movie
to put it.
are
Yeah.
very natural, and they're you don't really think of these as Oscar-winning performances. Like I remember he was on the fence if he was even going to get nominated for lead actor,
Right.
um, just because it's not the type of role that gets that. So it wasn't really on my radar. Is a cool win for him. Is a really great thing because it's a unique type of role that wins. That being said, I think that there is a better performance in this category that should have won, and I no, we'll talk about Marty Supreme. We'll talk about that later. But I just right after this movie actually, but I think that Timothy Chalamet's performance is generational in Marty Supreme, and if he had to lose to anyone, I'm happy with Michael B. Jordan because I
Sure.
love Michael B. Jordan's performance. But it's just weird. It's a weird thing, and I don't know if it was a long award season and there was no real villain this year. But people, I feel like, started to manufacture drama near the end of it. People turned against Marty Supreme pretty suddenly, even before the ballet opera thing, which we'll get to, which is stupid, I think. And they just turned against it because like Timothy Chalamet was pissing them off like as a person. Okay, he won all of these awards in like before this, and now suddenly his performance isn't that good anymore. I don't know. I don't know. Michael B.
Here's,
Jordan winning the SAG really turned the tide, and I think that like
yeah.
it made us all feel good just because we really like Michael B. Jordan, and
Yeah.
that was right during voting. So I think that that's kind of what gave it to. I
Oh,
don't
yeah.
want to
There's
cheapen his
definitely
win or
that.
anything, but I think that's definitely what happened because he had no momentum
Yeah.
all season, and then
And
suddenly it came out of nowhere.
yeah. Um, I agree that um just because Timothy Chalamet is a douchebag doesn't mean that he is a bad actor. I think he's a great actor, but I also think he's a douchebag. Um, I do feel like now, I do feel that like it may be blown out of proportion just a little bit, the ballet opera thing.
A little bit.
However, no, no, no. However, I'm not going to say that the criticism is unwarranted because it's just it just comes off as cocky and uninformed,
Yes,
and
yes, it does.
it's
It
just
comes across that way, and what he said was true. The context of what he said was that uh he doesn't want like he's happy to be working in movies because currently movies aren't a dying art form the way ballet and opera are today. That's a fact. What he was saying, that's a statement of fact. But the way he said it was the way that a rich 30-year-old white guy would say it. And and he said it, he was a little insensitive. obviously. He was a little bit of a douchebag, obviously. That's the kind of
Right.
guy he
Okay.
is.
So like,
When he,
well, right. Yes. Like the fact that like ballet and opera are dying art forms because like they're just like lesser in popularity. I mean, like to get tickets to go to something like that, like it's you're gonna have to pay a pretty penny. That is a fact. But like, I don't know, just to say that you don't want to be like it's okay to say that like I could like it'd be one thing if you said like I could never do something like that. Like I'm not technically trained. That's probably the only way he could have said it without like getting any backlash. But like the way that he was saying it, he was saying like I don't want to be like involved in like a dying art form. Like by saying that like it's part of the past. That like the inflection was implying that like the past is the past. Just like stop trying to like keep it alive, and that's discrediting a lot of performers and stagehands and craftsmen who are like bringing genuinely good art to life and bring it to the public.
I
Um,
can see that, and I don't think he was calling it bad art at all. I don't
right,
mean to latch on
but
to
still
that,
though,
but I think it goes hand in hand with what he's saying. I I feel like I'm Timothy Chalamet's publicist right now. I'm not a huge fan of him. I'm really not. I've never been until the Marty Supreme era, just because I really like this movie and the marketing around it and just the whole vibe of it. And how it ties into Timothy Chalamet personally. So when he accepted the SAG Award last year for playing Bob Dylan, he gave what was kind of a controversial speech where he's like, I want to be the best ever. He's like, I want to surpass all the greats and I want to surpass myself and I want to be great.
there's
Um,
nothing inherently wrong with saying that.
I love that. I really do.
There's a stigma to like saying that like you want an award because then people are like,
Because
oh,
who
you're
doesn't?
automatically cocky. I
Yeah,
will agree with that.
like, like,
That's kind of like
like who in this
relax.
industry in his class doesn't want that? He's saying the quiet part loud, and it
Exactly.
makes
Yeah.
him an interesting character. He's not putting on some PR face. He's owning that he wants this, and I really respect that, and I really like that. So for him to say, I want to be in a mainstream art form. I want to stick to movies that the most eyeballs see and not be part of this thing that not a lot of like ballet and opera have not been in mainstream pop culture really ever. For him to say that, make that sentiment
But
is totally in line with what I would expect from him. The way
well,
he said it is the issue,
is
I
there
think.
even a reason for him to say it at all though? Like
I
are
don't know
in
what led
movies.
into
Like
it.
who is like asking him to like be in other art forms? Like you can just continue
I don't know what the
doing that
conversation
thing.
was. I really don't know. But I admire Timothy Chalamet because he owns the showboatness that comes with being an actor. Because like I'd rather an actor be openly like that and not be fake about it.
Right.
And
And
like
like pretend to be like humble and like, well, like,
yeah, 'cause, like that's why I think he's a really interesting character to watch.
sure.
And I'm
Yeah,
excited to
I won't
see
deny
the
that.
lengths
That's
that
yeah,
he goes to next, knowing how much he did for Marty Supreme. To no avail, by the way.
right.
Yeah.
We kind of got
All
to leave.
right. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So I just spent a lot of time defending my client, Timothy. Um,
We're still on.
Still
Do
on
we go
Sinners.
back? Do we want to go back to
Um,
Sinners or
I'll just say Sinners won everything that I needed to win. Every single one of its wins was totally deserved.
I
I've
saw
been
this morning.
watching.
I saw a clip online that even without sweeping, even without winning Best Picture, it was a very like the four awards that it won were very validating because it won visuals, sound, a form of sound, writing, and performance, which are the four like basically
Yeah, I didn't think about that.
horsemen for like what makes a picture. So like even though Ryan Coogler didn't like win Best Director, he kind of did because like all the strongest like elements of his vision
I like
were
that.
awarded that. So
Yeah,
that's something that
yeah,
I
I like that. Um, Yeah, and I'll just close by saying I've been watching the I Lied to You scene on loop, and I get like full body chills every time I watch it.
So good.
It's like monumental. Like that is a future like one of the greatest scenes in film, in my opinion. So good. So good. All right.
Much
Since
more
we've already been
to
talking about it, before we get into the big winner of the night, let's talk about Marty Supreme. We've talked about Timothy Chalamet. I feel like we don't need to say a ton more about him. It'll probably come up because a element of this movie that I love so much is that is how much overlap there is with Marty as a character and Timothy Chalamet at this point in his career. Like you saw it back into like the early stages of the marketing for this movie. The marketing was insane. How like they leaked the Zoom call of the like of the marketing meeting. They leaked the Zoom call, and like there Timothy Chalamet is just playing this larger than life version of himself, and where he's like an egomaniac and everything. And then like all of it with the Mario Supreme jacket and everything is orange and he's standing at the top of the sphere and they're selling merch. It's so big and it's so obnoxious. Like and based on the marketing, you'd swear that Marty as a character is this god amongst men. And he's like the hottest of hot shots and like he is the greatest of all time. And you see the movie and he's the biggest loser like ever put to screen and in his brain he is a god amongst men, but everything the situation that he's in is completely pathetic. The entire plot of the movie could be resolved in the first like 20 minutes because like Mr. Wonderful like says, oh, like I could take you, like I could help you out, and he
Right.
says no, like I need to do it by myself. And because of his like ego, because of his stinginess, uh the entire plot of the movie was just gets more and more insane and more disastrous for him and everyone involved. It only unfolds because of his stubbornness. And
Yeah.
like for people to discount this movie because the main character isn't likable, I think is the stupidest thing. Ethan, you're a Dear Evan Hansen fan. Like like
Exactly. Well, no,
speak
no,
on
I
that.
will die on the hill of like just because your protagonist is unlikable, flawed beyond belief, does not mean that the movie is bad.
Thank
Get
you.
over yourselves.
Thank you. Yes. It's a movie that doesn't tell you how to feel. It shows you characters doing stuff, and it's up to you to decide if you're on board with them or not. And a lot of times it's give and take. There's a lot of gray area, I think. Like at the end when he's finally in Japan and he like disgraces this nation's national hero for his own personal like to prove to himself that he could.
Yeah.
In a weird way, you're rooting for him. You're like, you know
Yeah,
what?
exactly.
I just went through so much shit watching this guy like get here. I want to see him have his moment.
Yeah,
And
exactly. And like
and
even
then
if like it doesn't mean anything to like society, it means everything to him. It's
yeah,
like an oddly compelling character study for about like how someone navigates their own narcissism and self-worth for
yeah, and
as
how that plays into
batshit
like
crazy as it is.
what they do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um and because like his dream since the beginning is like he wants to go there, he wants to win in front of everyone, he wants to return to America as this national hero. What he does is he embarrasses everyone and kind of himself, but he proves to himself that he had what it took to do it. And he rides home with real American heroes. He goes home with the military, and no one cares. There's no one there to cheer him on or welcome him, but he does get a reward, and his reward is the only non-selfish reward that he gets in the entire movie. Where like he like owns being the father of I forget his girlfriend's name of of her kid.
That's so
He like
sad.
accepts that and he decides to settle down, which is in direct opposition to what he literally said earlier. He's like,
Right.
I'm never settling down. And just his face, oh my
Yeah.
God, like his performance in that last shot is
It was
so,
very, very good. No,
it's
because
something I'm
like
gonna be thinking about.
he didn't change, but like he also did though, you know? Like
Yeah, because like people say
it's
like, oh, this
yeah.
ending, this is him realizing like what's really important in life. And I'm like, I don't know if I fully buy that. Like he's not too much more happy seeing his child than he was winning a ping pong game.
Right,
Like
because he also
genuinely,
almost cried. Like
yeah, like
yeah.
I just think
I
like
mean, maybe
it
he
doesn't
did.
fall cleanly.
Maybe it like caught him more
Yeah.
off guard because like that's what gets men emotional. Like it's always the thing that you least expect. And maybe like
Mhm.
in that moment it is like him realizing that like, oh, wait, this is something that actually has some gravity to it. And like for that to be happening over everybody wants to rule the world is so cool.
Perfect.
It's
Perfect.
so
Yeah.
cool.
Um, yeah, no, it's a movie that no aspect of it falls cleanly into one box, like morally speaking, or like message. But there's still so much there. Even if I can't articulate what it is, like I don't fully know what I feel so much, and that's
Yeah.
why I love this movie. Like this is a movie that's going to be a future classic, I think.
Those are some of like the best movies though. You're like, I love it, but I don't entirely know why, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Like I rest assured, like I'm not one of those guys who like misunderstand Marty Supreme the way that there's guys who like misunderstand Whiplash, where it's like, oh, he just grinded and then he got there, dude, and he did it. Like, no, like, that's not what the movie's about. That's not what this hat's
No.
about. I love the movie. I love the craftsmanship. I love the story and the way it's told.
Yeah.
And yeah, I am not relating to Marty Mauser as a character. Rest assured.
Yeah.
Train Dreams looks amazing. The story is amazing. It made me sob. And I adore this movie with all my heart. Ethan, what do you think
It's
about Train Dreams?
I love train dreams. I wanted more trains, but I did love following this man in the woods. It's something so mundane, but then like it makes you contemplate why you're alive. And then like I think that's like the appeal and that's what's just so beautiful about it. I love it very, very much.
Right.
But the winner of the evening, the winner of the most awards and best picture, one battle after another.
So many battles.
So many battles, yeah.
So many.
Um, I think it was a deserving win.
Oh yeah.
I
Not
know it's
not
a
a shock to
controversial
anybody.
choice, and like even though that I liked it more than Sinners, and throughout the night I was rooting for Sinners more, I do appreciate it being the winner. I will say this, and you may agree or disagree with me. I do feel that this is the best picture of 2025, but
Okay.
Sinners is going to have much more longevity and like
I
have
agree with
much
you.
more of a fan base and be much more of a classic.
I agree with that. I think it'll go down as one of those things. Not where like they got it wrong, because One Battle After Another obviously is a great movie and has
Yeah,
its fans,
I
but
disagree
like
with that.
it'll be
They
one of
got
those
it
things where
wrong.
it's like, how did Sinners not win? You know?
Exactly. Yeah.
Sinners is going to be a classic in 100 years.
Yeah.
Like,
Exactly. So there's a lot of issues with that I feel have only come up recently with the film during award season because I feel like when it first came out, everybody was losing their shit over it. And it's my of the 10 Best Picture nominees, it's my number two. It's my number three of the whole year. Um, uh,
behind what? Wicked and
Wicked and Sentimental Value. Yeah.
Cinema Value. That's
I might
right.
have to rewatch Wicked because like a lot of people are like, it's not as good and like it's
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
narrative.
My mom rewatched it today. I think it's on Peacock today
Yeah.
for the first time. My mom watched it today, and I saw some parts of it, and I was like, they had to like have something against it because how did this not like get anything? Like, it couldn't get costumes, it
Right.
couldn't get
It
production
should have
design, like
got
score. Like,
costume. Like at the very
take
least.
out
But
Hamnet for score, put this in there. Take out Marty Supreme for costumes, put this in there. Like,
exactly. It
no.
should have got like anyway.
Anyway,
Um
we're off topic.
yeah. Um one of the movie reviewers that we both watched, Sean Chandler, in his review of this, he ranked
Shout out Sean Chandler.
lower. Yeah, he ranked this lower because of the way it portrays political violence, because they're like low key almost glorifying it, but I
I
feel
I didn't articulate it that way, but that is something that put me off about it the first time because it's really only like the first 45 minutes. I'm like, I don't really love these characters. I know that they're the heroes.
but that's the
I know
thing.
they're doing the right thing, but like, yeah, it's glorifying political violence in a
But
way.
that's how it
It's
gets
not
away with
until
it though,
yeah.
because
Wait, sorry,
none
what
of
did
the
you say?
characters are likable. And if you're not like fully like it would be fully like it would be full like it would be fully doubling down if like they made Leonardo DiCaprio or Teyana Taylor or like any other of these like prominent side characters fully likable, but they don't.
I I agree with you partially, but I also partially disagree with you because
Uh,
I feel like the movie became so likable when Willa came into the picture. And just seeing like her
oh no, definitely,
and
yeah,
Leonardo DiCaprio's like dynamic, like the father-daughter dynamic brought a sense of like clear morality into it. And I'm
sure,
like,
yeah,
I'm rooting for them now. And like Leonardo DiCaprio's washed up, Bob, I'll call him Bob, but he's like washed up and everything like that.
right, yeah,
It's very different tonally from that point to the end of the movie than it is for the beginning.
sure, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm confused. Wait, where's the disagreement?
Just how like I feel like from that point on, Leonardo DiCaprio's character is like unambiguously the hero, or like he has a heroic
No, yeah,
presence in it.
sure. It's not
Yeah,
like yeah. No, I agree. I
yeah.
like
Because it's like when the French 75 is like a thing and like everyone's there and like Tana Taylor's character is like doing her thing where it's like the intensity is so high
right, yeah.
and it's like yeah, I'm like I agree with what they're doing, but like the way they're doing it is too much for me to root for. And it's not
Yeah, like when
until
they're robbing a
she's
bank
out of the
though,
picture and
it's
Willa is that
like
it
hey,
shifts.
I'm jungle pussy like uh,
Yeah.
but aside from that, what's recently the biggest controversy over it is its portrayal of black women. I'm I'm in no way qualified to speak about um like just really how well or not well they do it,
Mm.
but I do fully understand where and how people are getting
Where the
offended
criticism
because
comes from.
yeah, because what it all boils down to is Teyana Taylor's character, Perfidia Beverly Hills. She's in the beginning and she's such a dominant force. She is the one that you have your eyes on. She's like kind of like controlling everything. Like that, like it is her movie
Mhm.
fully.
Fully.
And then she leaves very early on. What does she do on screen? So they blow up a border patrol facility. She fucks Sean Penn. She fucks Lockjaw, and then she gets pregnant, gives birth, and
And
then
abandons her kid.
once the bank robbery pretty much goes awry, she leaves and we never hear from her again,
It
except
was
for
up and
at the end.
that was the first point where I started to feel um like a solid rootability when she is absent for the baby and when she's kind of like abandoning her in a way when Bob pushes back on her for that. That was the first time where I'm like, okay, like there is because like you said, it's her movie in the beginning. Like, she is the force. Yeah, like she is such a force
Yeah,
in this whole thing. But like it's to a degree where like we said, it's political violence, and it's to a degree where it's like, all right, this is excessive. Like this is a lot. Like I'm like, this is the hero of the movie? I'm
right.
I don't know if I fully am on board with everything that she's doing,
Sure,
but
yeah,
to see her, so like I thought that like it seemed like up until that point that the movie was like what she's doing is right and this is the right thing to do,
sure.
and that was off putting to me. But then like seeing her and Bob's dynamic when they have Willa made me know like okay she is a flawed character, and the movie recognizes that.
Yeah.
So like it was a lot easier for me to get on board with from that point on.
Yeah. Um, when I watched it, I didn't really have any issue with that. Like I feel like early on, like right around that same point, like really with the bank robbery, that the movie recognizes that what they're doing isn't like heroic. This isn't propaganda, you know, for like revolution against white supremacy and capitalism and a bunch of
It
other.
kind of turns into a different movie altogether
It
after
really does,
that.
yeah. But
Will is captured, and
I totally understand um, where the criticisms are coming for because like it's not just the fact that like she went away so early, people are offended with what like all that she accomplished before she left and never came back. So like going back to like what I was saying before, basically by just like going in and like having sex and giving birth and then leaving, aside from the agency that she does show, she was basically just serving as a vagina. And yeah, I see that. I see that. And I can understand.
I could see that. I think that does a disservice to her characterization and to the performance
Sure.
to say, oh, well, that's all this represents. Because yeah, I can see that too, but I'm also firmly of the belief that uh if a character does something in a movie that's not representative of an
Of
entire
who they are.
group. Yeah, or like of an entire like if a character
Or of an, yes, exactly. That
is
is
of a
yeah.
minority, like we're talking about like specifically black women, because this character is a black woman, her actions are not a stand-in for that entire group of
Right.
people.
Yeah.
Obviously, I think that that should go without saying, and I think that it's a very fragile line because sometimes, sometimes that mindset can lead to harmful, negative things
Yeah.
being put in movies. But I feel like all movies should be consumed with the mindset that these are fictional characters and
Right.
nothing is a monolith. It's a
Right.
dicey issue.
We
It's a
can't.
complex issue that we don't have a solution for, but I could see where people are complaining about. I could see where the
Right.
criticism comes from, but ultimately, I feel like this is an individual. This is a flawed
This is an
person,
individual. This isn't like represent exactly
and
like it
and
like,
she
we
fits
shouldn't
into
be
this
used.
specific story.
We
Paul
shouldn't.
Thomas
Yeah.
Anderson. Good. Sorry.
No, I was gonna say like we shouldn't be relying on labels. We
Yeah.
talk about in the mainstream how harmful it is. I'm in my writing intensive class. The subject is queer cinema. We had a discussion this past week where we were watching a film about it was a lesbian couple. It was like very masochist and everything. And the majority of the class was very much into it. And then the credits started rolling, and one of my classmates was like, "Hey, I was enjoying this until I saw that it was directed by a man, and now I don't like it because what would a man know about what this is like?" And then my professor was like, I mean, it turned into a much longer discussion, but
I bet.
yes, but it and like listen, I understand both sides completely and
It's
like
interesting. Yeah, no, it's a
they're very
tough
valid.
issue.
But like the professor, who I should add is also a woman, uh, said like that is a very valid point, but should we be criticizing films based on the label, like the person who wrote it, or by the content itself, the art itself?
Yeah.
Perfidia Beverly Hills is a character, and like she is an inherently like flawed character. And I know that another issue that people said was that this film promised representation of black women, better representation of black women, but it turned into a white movie where the claim was basically it is Bob versus Lockjaw, but it's not. It's a much more convoluted, chaotic movie than that. I
It's
don't
very
think
important
the only time that those two
to the
characters
point.
meet is in a supermarket. It's very
Yeah,
not clear cut. And like, sure, like Paul Thomas Anderson is a white guy that wrote a movie with black women in it. But what really like made me feel like good about it was in his acceptance speech. I think it was for the adapted screenplay when he closed it out by saying that he he dedicates this to his children. I didn't know until that night that he and Maya Rudolph are together and they have four kids.
yeah,
Um,
I know that.
he dedicated it to his kids and he said, basically, like, I'm sorry for the horrible world that we've created for you, but I will empower you every day to make this world a better place. And it was in that
Yeah,
moment
that's great.
I realized, like, oh my God, like, he is Bob Ferguson. He's the bumbling dad who's just like trying to make right after like all the shit that he's caused. And then Willa is this representation of his children. So I feel like it came from a very genuine place.
It
And
did, yeah.
whether he
And
whether he has something to say publicly about like the politics of it all or it doesn't is like a separate issue. The movie is was absolutely like worth being made, even if even if it didn't have anything inherently political, more political to say.
yeah, yeah. And going back to what you said earlier about how people point out that at a certain point it becomes like a white movie where it's white protagonist, white antagonist.
Right.
I think that pointing that out again, that's a valid point to make. That's an
Absolutely.
understandable issue to have to take with the movie. But I think that flattens the story because it's very important to the story, the race of every single character.
Absolutely.
It
Yeah.
all ties in. Like that's what the story is about.
Right.
The story is explicitly about race and about racial relationships. And I think to just look at it as like literally superficially and say like, well, as a white protagonist, white antagonist, how could this have something worthwhile to say about race? That is discounting the story of this movie
Absolutely.
because it's a fantastic story and it's a great story that it deals with such complex issues as we've been talking about, but it ultimately boils down to good versus evil, where the villains
Right.
are so evil that it's like it's at once like I couldn't bear to watch Sean Penn. I could not bear to
Yeah.
look
It
at him.
he's
He's
so
so
disgusting.
disgusting. But that's exactly the reason why his performance is so great. It's like at once like so disgusting that you can't watch it, but it's also so disgusting that it's like cartoony and over the top, and that's
Like,
what makes
yeah.
it fun. It's such a good balance, and that's why I think like it's so well written and so well directed. I wasn't crazy about this movie when I first saw it. I caught parts of it when my parents watched it the day before the Oscars, and like I think it's very deserving, even if it wasn't my favorite or even my pick to win between this and Sinners, which were the two front runners. Very happy that it won. First Best Picture winner ever to lose money at the box office.
Huh. How about
How
that?
about that? Yeah.
You'd think it wouldn't have with all of the rave reviews that
I
like it
know.
used as its marketing when it first
This
came
was
out.
a flop.
Crazy.
This was actually a flop.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's crazy.
Wow. But
But it looks amazing. It like
it's such
again
a
with Sinners, it won all of the awards that it needed to, and that it deserved.
it's 2 hours and 40 minutes long, but it didn't feel its length.
It's the same length as a Secret Agent, and the Secret Agent felt an hour longer than that.
I I know you said that like if John Greenwood won for best score, you'd be really mad, but I love that score so much. The
The
entire
more I think about it,
middle
I wouldn't be mad. It wasn't
is
my
still
favorite of the five. We have differing opinions on scores, like in
yeah,
general. Like I tend to gravitate more toward melodic scores.
right.
Um, I think that Sinners was the perfect winner for this, just because yeah, not one bell. Um, but like, man, the Sinners score was I've never heard anything like that. That was on another
No way
level.
that that would
Just in another
like
league,
if
another
it didn't
sport.
win, like there'd be issues.
Yeah. And I like the Frankenstein score. Loved it actually,
The
but
Begonia score was great.
everything was great. Sinners was in another league though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, do you have anything else to add about one bell after another?
I feel that like I think I'll cap it off this way. I feel that yes, it is inherently controversial, and um, through everything we just said, um, neither of us are trying to discredit any opinions. They're all valid, and like we see where everyone's coming from. But I think above it all, I think we can all agree that like it is good filmmaking, and even if it's a piece of art that makes that like ruffles some feathers and maybe offends some people and maybe like uh isn't popular to some. I think that's what makes it interesting and that's what makes it worth a watch.
Yes, yeah. I'll tag on there is no answer to these problems. They're
Right.
really complex issues, and us as as aspiring filmmakers just starting out, like it's important to not turn away from stuff that is a little edgy and a little controversial, a little
Yeah.
like out there, because to dismiss something as to see something that doesn't play by the standards of what is acceptable, and to see something that stands beyond that and does, like you said, ruffle feathers, does get people talking in some way, to dismiss it because of that is, I think, a very anti-art thing to do. I think
Yeah.
that like all art, if it's going to be new, it should do something like that. And if
Yeah.
that means offending somebody, then that could happen. I think that it's up to you to watch it, like seek it out, take the time with it, and form your own opinion. And that's what's so powerful about it.
Yeah, we shouldn't be making art to please everyone. You just can't. Like
Yeah.
not everyone's going to like it. And
And it also won't be expressive that way.
exactly, yeah.
Like yeah, and you also like you can't believe what everyone else says about something. If someone says that something is bad for one reason or another, don't just take that face value. Check it out for yourself. Form your own thoughts on it. Like that's the most important thing
Right, yeah.
that movies and art in general inspire us to do. So that's like that's one of the major reasons why I love the Oscars, because it's a spotlight on these great movies that a lot of people may have not seen, that because of the Oscars, a lot of people tune into them and a lot of people get a conversation going about it. And that's an invaluable thing. Truly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Movies are like it's one of the art forms that like it's one of the most easily accessible. So I feel
It's not a dying art form like I'd say like ballet or
yeah.
like opera or something. Like
But like this was like as far as I can remember, this is my fifth year seriously following the Oscars. Like this is the first year that
wow,
like
you're right.
most of the movies are like were like accessible, like either in theaters, available to rent or purchase, or on
It
streaming
was great.
services. So for
Yeah.
everybody to like
And
have
the
the
two
chance,
that
yeah,
weren't, the two that weren't like Marty Supreme, which was a huge success, and
right,
like
yeah,
that they managed to make that like a cool movie with the kids. So like the kids are going to see Marty Supreme. So like a bunch of people saw that. And Sentimental Value, like even that got like it got like a wide release and
right.
everything. So
But like,
everything was accessible this year. Yeah.
so like for it to be accessible, like everybody's able to like form their own opinions, like you were saying, and like to have that, I don't know, it's just it's really beautiful to like have something like that where we can come together with our agreements, but especially like our disagreements as well. I think that's what honestly makes it beautiful.
And the conversation shouldn't end at the disagreements. That should invite it to continue.
Absolutely,
Uh
yeah.
in a very microcosmic way. Me and you, like you mentioned earlier, like 2 hours ago in this video.
Yeah.
Our ranking of the Best Picture nominees was more different this year than it's ever been.
And arguably,
But
because of that, this led to our longest
yeah,
retrospective ever.
exactly.
So look at that.
Because it resulted in us talking about it.
Yeah.
And like yeah, like they disagree. Like it's great when you agree about stuff because you could be fans of it together. But to
Right.
find the specific things that you do disagree on, explore that. And we're telling you all how to watch movies, and that's not what I anticipated this being. But yeah, that's pretty much what it boils down to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think that's all we have to say.
I hope so.
I hope so. I hope we didn't miss anything.
Begonia was good. I liked it.
Oh yeah, Bugatti. Bugatti was great. I like Bugatti. Uh, yeah, that's another one. I
Ethan
feel that.
Hawke was funny in Blue Moon. I think that's it.
Okay.
I think that's every. I think I've touched
Okay.
everything. Yeah.
Great. Great.
I
Um,
am. This has been such a great award season, but also exhausting. I'm kind of glad it's over.
it was long. It
It was
was
very
long,
long.
and like I already dealt with the post Olympic depression like a month or so ago, and the post Oscars depression hasn't really hit as hard. I don't know. I think like part of me was ready for it to be wrapped up.
Yeah.
And I'm had like there was no bad winners at the Oscars. There was
No.
no if you didn't want to watch the whole video, just skip forward to this point. This is like the real retrospective. There's no bad winners. I think we can both agree with that. Every win was deserved.
Yeah.
Every movie was enjoyable, and yeah, it was just a really great ceremony. And for how stupid and like uh non-essential it is, I will always love the Oscars, and it's just so much
Yeah.
fun to
It
come
really
together
is.
about something as silly as this.
Because even if
Because
like people love like America loves a good self-portrait and glorifying itself. But like it's really cool when you get to see the people in the content that you get to see get together in one room and get honored for the things that they do. Because
I
even if
love it.
you're whether you're egotistical or humble, you can I feel like you really have to like separate that from like genuinely good performances and craftsmanship and like showings of like being a good artist. And I feel like it's you do have to recognize that.
Agree. Well, it's been a marathon. It's been a journey. Thank you all
And
so much for sticking with us.
our empty
We love
promises.
doing this. I feel like we just did this for last year. What'd you say?
And our empty promises. We're like, we're gonna make this one shorter.
Yeah, no. You should know not to trust that by now. Um,
Yeah.
I, I feel like we just did this for last year, so the years are flying by.
Yeah.
Uh, so thank you all so much. Go to the movies, see movies, watch movies, talk about art, see art, go see opera and ballet, and like let's keep this going because it's not essential to survival, but it is essential to living.
Yes.
And
There you go.
aha. So I think that's a good spot to end. We talked about everything that we need to talk about and more. So thank you all so much for tuning in. Remember to subscribe, leave a comment, like the video. Let us know your thoughts on the Oscars this year, and we will talk to you all in the next video. And until then, we are the Obros. We want to talk to you about stuff.
Shrimp.